We are live. Let me try to focus this camera a little bit better. I just moved it over and now I got to move it over again. Let's see if we can get this a little better. There we go. Hi everyone and welcome to Portfolio Review with me, Art T. Bear. I will be here for the beatdown. That's what we're nicknaming this, the beatdown, but I promise to be to not beat down too hard. We're just trying to get ears and eyes on the show with like harsh, you know, harsh way of talking, tough guy talk, and hurt you guys real bad. What is that? Hey
Sketch
Art.
Therapy and Con are both here.
Hey guys, let's beat some people down. Let's hurt some people. No, I'm just fired up. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna be constructive, and welcome everybody. And as always, any questions, just let me know. I don't know if I finished my introduction. I'm RT Bear, 30-year comic book vet. I've worked for both Marvel, DC, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, X-Men, Fantastic Four. Currently the ink artist on Adventures of Super Son for DC Comics. So if you haven't picked that up, go do so. And we are going to launch an Indiegogo in October. Taylor and I. Taylor, say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone, I'll be reading your chat today.
Yes, so let's get on with this. Yeah, so it's going to be black and white. We're going to do an Indiegogo in October. So we're gearing up for that. But enough of that self-promotion. Let's get on with this.
The chat wants you to be super harsh. They say to hurt them.
Okay. This absolutely stinks. The only thing good about this is the sound effect. Are you guys happy now? Is that good? Am I giving you what you want? I'm getting all fired up. Getting fired up. Well, this looks like a splash page from part of a story. So it's a good setup. Looks like we're getting all our characters in here. Apparently all arrows are pointing in this direction, which is good. So we have this not so subliminal movement going here, and then we have the surfer going this way. The only thing I don't like about all these arrows going is that possibly it might be better if the surfboard is going in this direction, because then your eye will go to the next page. Because all these guys coming in are really good. The finger pointing is, I'm a sucker for it. It's not so subtle, but I grew up in a time where Neil Adams did it all the time. Sometimes he would do it multi-panels where literally characters were pointing at other panels, like go here, go there, go here. So like I said, not so subtle, but like I said, I'm a sucker for it, so I don't automatically say it's a bad thing. I do like the sound effect. It's a little overly done. It overpowers this composition. But it is a good composition. It's not bad. So,
Con says he likes the clouds a lot.
yeah, it's a good, it's a nice design. I just don't know, because it looks like this is all pencil, so maybe if it was all inked up. I thought this was inked, but I guess there's just some heavier pencil in here and some lighter pencil. So this could work, although I think if you were to try to ink these clouds up, it would get really, really busy, because it looks like there would be a series of hatching and fades into blacks. So I think what I would do, even though they're nicely done, I would simplify those and let the color come in and kind of do what they do best. The black space part is really nice, so I'd leave that, but maybe simplify the clouds a little bit. And Yeah, I'm gonna do something here and see. Like I said, the sound effect it's nice, but it really feels like it's overpowering the piece. So let's see what it looks like without the sound effect. And maybe if there were more sound effects or word balloons or something, maybe I wouldn't feel the same way. But at this point, I do feel like it's overpowering. So let's pull back and see what we got. Yeah, that's helping my eye a lot. Um, I think I would also maybe play down some of this effect. It just feels like it's overdone. It feels like it overpowers everything else that's happening. So maybe if you let the colorist do some heavy lifting here with some effects here, something that will be more subtly done and less overpowering, because I think that helps a little bit there. I really like the composition. I would really start looking at some anatomy books. Some of this stuff is a little weird.
Con says, correct me if I'm wrong, but usually usually splash pages don't feature sound effects for the most part, correct?
Um, if that's true, I've never noticed that before. I think they still do. It just depends on what's going on. I think contemporary comics use um, sound effects a lot less than they used to. So that might be true, but I haven't personally noticed it. Um, yeah, this leg is kind of odd. I need a better red. That's kind of a pink. There we go. So I don't know. Maybe if the foot went more in this direction, because it looks like we're supposed to like the legs up and we're looking kind of up at it. So the foot seems in a weird position to me, and it's kind of going in this direction. It looks disjointed. It looks like it's not part of the leg here. So I think maybe it's because you have, like I said, the leg looks like it's kind of, because it's foreshortened here and it's obscuring the thigh. So it's overlapping it. So I think the foot, you should see less of the heel and more of the front of the foot.
Sketch is giving his critique and said that Silver Surfer's leg looks pretty broken.
Oh, yeah, I'm eventually going to get there. There's some stuff there. I'm still kind of obsessing about this foot. I don't know. I think it needs to look like you're looking up at it more, and maybe it's kind of short as well. But this foot isn't really working for me. I like your sense of dynamics and your willingness to be bold. So try to keep that there. Try to keep your sense of interesting dynamics alive, but try to put some more realistic proportions and anatomy to it.
Con says anatomy books would take away a lot of the guesswork for this person.
Yeah, and I think learn how shapes overlap and what angles you're using. And a lot of, I think it's kind of a early pet peeve of a lot of new artists. Everything's kind of these really bulbousy shapes, like really rounded shapes. And I think try to maybe square some stuff off or smooth some of the angles out because they look kind of balloony, and this thigh is, it's way too balloony, and I don't know. It doesn't look right. But yeah, and then there's something going on with the upper and lower torso. They don't look like they connect quite right. Maybe if this thigh was maybe coming over more, and the foot here. It would also give the impression that he's coming this way a little bit more. So I think I've moved this leg coming in this direction, overlapping that other leg a little bit more to imply that he's kind of coming in this direction. And also, if this character is supposed to be getting eye contact with the Silver Surfer, I would dip the head a little bit more. It's a little too upshot. It's a little bit too much of an upshot. It looks like he's kind of looking this way versus at the surfer this way. Those little subtle things mean a lot because they help the reader's eye go where you want them to.
Thighs are difficult, says Khan.
Yeah, especially when they come at you foreshortened. I think we always want to make them a little bit. They can be a little bit more bulbousy, a little fat because it's foreshortened. So you got to be really careful with that. Here's a real good example of what I was talking about with bulbousy shapes. Like these are way too rounded. Like start thinking like more angular at times. So you got this, and then just kind of come down and maybe angle it, and then come in like that, and then and maybe don't define because it's kind of creating a little bit of a cleavage situation here.
Steve says he has double D's.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think if they're squared off, the angles are a little bit more. Sometimes you can get around the bulbousy shapes.
The chat is going crazy about a Silver Surfer's chest.
Everybody goes crazy about a sharp-dressed surfer. So I think if you brought the well, I think I exaggerated a little too much, but like smooth this out a little bit and straighten out guys' hips. Like it never looks really good when they're too shapely. So I think straighten them up a little bit. I always like to make sure like my torso's in order before I start adding arms and legs and stuff. And there's kind of a structural problem with the clavicle. So find that line, make sure it's intact, and then you can start doing these shapes here. Let me find this here, and then bring that and have it come in. And kind of, it's a little too bulbousy again. Straighten that shape out, but you can kind of see how the chest is starting to look a little bit more like solid, and the neck's a little weird as well. Like just I think straighten it out over here, but the head fits on pretty well, and there's a lot of stuff going on here with this forearm.
Steve says that the body position could be okay depending on if he's catching a mega bitchin' wave.
Yeah, he's got kind of the twist going on here, which I don't mind. The hand is good, although I would like to see maybe another finger. It looks like this finger's a little bit too much obscured, and this arm right here is a little too long, because it looks like if you're not gonna see a bicep or any more of the arm, that implies that if you draw through this figure, the elbow is way back here. So sometimes draw through your objects to find where things should be, and then maybe the hand should be more in here because it's a little too low, it's a little too long. So I know this is getting confusing, so I'll take this out and try to, whoops, remember where I had it. So like the forearm should maybe be there, and then the hand in here a little bit more. And so I've been avoiding this. This is really tough. So let me find my rib cage here. Bring this down. So it already looks like this leg that's coming forward here is over to the right a bit too much. So what I would probably do is just relocate it more in here. So it's coming a little bit more forward, and then find your knee shape.
Sketch says that the front leg is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it's really structurally kind of weird. I usually do, like I learned this from Bern Hogarth, find that line there. That's usually the bone, the shin bone, and then kind of drag your muscles out of that, and then turn the foot in this direction. I know this looks like kind of a mess. Let me see if I can possibly clean it up a bit. I don't know if this is helping at all. But yeah, I just think straighten it out. And now that I look at it and clean it up, that maybe this leg in the background, or the bottom of the leg, that maybe you could foreshorten it more and then move it in this direction. You know, so it's maybe somewhere between what Mike Merritt. I'm sorry, I didn't say your name earlier. Yes, this is Mike Merritt's work. Over a little bit, maybe between these two, his Mike's line and my line, and then this one is just one of. I think it's, well. Before I say anything, let's find some of the muscle, and then the knee shape. I think I even made it a little too bulbousy. Let me see if I can kind of bring it down a little. Find your knee, and then this is hard to draw with the mouse as well, guys, so do the best I can. Yeah, so something like that. It might, you can kind of see that it's a little bit more solid, the red line, than the original, but this shows a lot of promise, Mike. A lot, and I'm a little bit more harder on the U than I have been on some of the others, because this is the beatdown.
Michael says, "Oh, it's the artist of this says don't hold back."
Well, thanks, Mike. Really good stuff, my friend. I mean, just keep at it. I really like the way you have the three characters coming in on the Silver Surfer here. For some reason, I really want to see the board. You'd have to change quite a bit, but I'd like to see the board going in this direction. I'm not sure why, but I feel like maybe because he's pointing in this direction, he's looking in this direction, and the board is going in this direction, that your eye is wanting to go this way instead of this way.
The chat is just praising Michael.
Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I like the placement of the blacks, but the main thing I would do to really fix this up is this foot, this leg, the leg here, the head. Just have him looking more at the Silver Surfer, and then the stuff obviously that I did on the Silver Surfer, and then just simplify those clouds. It's a neat effect, and you kind of used a gray like pencil. You didn't go as dark, but I just feel like if you just simplified that and then just left it for the colorist, I think it would work. It would still get the effect that you want it to be. Oh, and then just simplify the effects on this guy's gun here. So yeah, Mike, very good. Let's go to, what is that, Taylor? J. Jones, or is that John?
Oh,
Jonas Bass?
Jonas Bass, I believe.
Jonas Bass. Um, Sweet Mama Jamma. Let's blow it up a little bit and see what we have. This looks like an old post office. I don't know why. Maybe because there's a mailbox and American flag, and I've seen enough westerns. These guys are really, really up to no good. They don't look like heroes. They look like bad guys to me.
Thanks a million, Michael says.
Oh, my pleasure. And hey, Mike, thanks for sending your stuff. I know it's not easy for people to go over your work, live like this. So I appreciate you giving me a chance to do that. And it's all done with love. Like I said, it's my way of paying forward to you guys for the years of support, and you know, just how amazing this is as a lifestyle, as a profession, being able to draw comic books for people.
Steve says the perspective looks solid on this one.
Yeah, solid is a great way of explaining this work. The ink line's real nice. It looks like it's probably digital, but it's really solid, and all the thick lines are in the right places, so the structure looks real solid. The shadows help sell the image, so that opening image is very, very good. Um, I don't know if this is an establishing shot of these characters. I don't know if I would follow it with a down shot and another down shot. I think I would have done a straight on shot, or if you want these guys to look intimidating, possibly an upshot of them coming forward. And I'm not sure what this is, but this is definitely a no-no, because I don't think you should ever crop a character breaking a panel like that. It's really strange. So yeah, other than I wouldn't have done a down shot like this. It's a pretty good drawing. She looks real good, the first figure. I'm not sure if I would have broke the panels like this, because I'm not sure if it really serves anything. I think I would rather have seen them all in the panel. She's really well drawn. These hands on the gun and the rifle and things are drawn very well. There's something maybe going on here. Maybe if to imply that she's walking more, have her leg go in this direction a little bit more. Let me take some of these lines off so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit more in this direction, and maybe so you could see part of her calf back here, to imply that she's kind of walking, and she's walking more in this direction.
Colin says it should have been a bird's eye to worm's eye, or at least a flatter shot.
Yeah, like the first one, a bird's eye. Yeah, they always, I don't know, for some reason the combination always works well, like upshot, downshot, or downshot, upshot. But if this is establishing these characters as just a two-panel page, I don't think it serves it well. So it's done. The drawing's pretty good, but just the angle you chose is not great. There's something. I like the way this head fits on the shoulders. I like this leg going back in perspective. I think that's kind of what I want to see more with her in the first character over here. Um, I'm not sure if it's this arm and the fact that this shoulder is dipped so much. Um, there's a rhythm problem here. And I'm not sure which one it is. And there's something going on here. Maybe the arm needs, like the wrist should be right here. And this is the elbow, and the shoulder, the collarbone coming in. So I don't know, maybe if this was straighter, maybe if this arm was more foreshortened. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. But I do like this leg going back this way. Your hatching, I like that it's thick and it's bold.
Sketch says he thinks all the characters should be like 20% smaller.
Yeah, I think they would fit in there better as well. Yeah, because they kind of look like they're just squeezed in. And once you put balloons in there, I think it's going to look really, if there's balloons in there, like dialogue, I think it's going to look really congested. And I'm a big fan of like open and and black or open and shadowing. So I don't like this. I think if you have a bold light source going in, sometimes when you have too much of a gray shadow coming in the other direction, it it makes it hard to read. So I think simplifying some of this stuff, the hatching here on this fold, let me find my red again.
Yeah, the chat is definitely picking up on some of
Yeah.
the stuff in this piece.
Yeah, I like that, and the hatching is really well, but I think it was a little overdone in through here. Um, and you know what? Now I look at this. Oh, okay, I see. The light is coming in this way, so I think this is a shadow cast from this arm. So I was kind of reading it wrong, but I still would have put the hatching there. It still really wasn't serving it. And these type of shadows here, um, I there's very few people that can pull those shadows off. I think what I would have done is I would have possibly kept some of the black where it goes closer to the arm, like fold or the armpit area, and then keep the black on this part of the arm because I think they're competing. So you have the black over here, and then possibly, I'm not going to be able to do this well, but do some hatching in here into a black because I think it it starts reading better, and it's because you have this black that goes all the way across his arm or down his arm, and then you have something that duplicates the same type of rhythm on his body, and I just think and they fight for attention. And so I think the structure, the black on the arm, helps sell the arm as the arm better, and then the shadow on his body is more secondary. So you want to see that secondary. You want to see that arm first. So I think those two were competing against each other there. And this guy here. I really like the face. I like how he's like looking, like something's going on. What's going on over there? Um, Facially, find your planes better. I'm not going to do a great job here, but I think it starts getting weird because I think if you find your planes a little bit better, you'll be able to find where the ear should go. I think the ear might be up a little too high. There's something going on there.
I think Steve wanted to know if you thought that figure was too close to that other guy. He said it looks like he's giving him a flat tire.
He could be. Yeah, I don't have that much of a problem with it. Um, since this is the beatdown, we're being honest here. I have a lot of other problems with this figure. Um, there's something like I think the shoulders are maybe up a little too high. And I think if you could find your collarbone better, you would probably, well, I'm drawing Silver Surfer pecs there, look at that. That was my ode to Mike. Yeah, that's out a little bit too much. Let me see if I can get this right. Sometimes it's a little difficult to draw with this tool. I don't have total control all the time. So find that collarbone and it will help you find the bicep because you can already see like this is up right here way too high. I know he's got the cuff and all, but that cuff's not that thick. And by doing that, you can already start seeing where this bicep should fit in here. And well, I mean the deltoid, not the bicep, I'm sorry. The shoulder. And then I kept looking at this, so I was thinking the bicep. And this all still works, I think. So I think the bicep and the tricep still works good. I think I would probably bring that in a little bit, and then I would find the elbow shape a little bit better and bring it, find the wrist. Gosh, I'm doing a horrible job here. I need to focus, get better dexterity on this.
Michael says the style reminds him of like Steve Dillon.
It does, actually it does. And Steve Dillon stuff is really solid. So I think just rhythmically, if the arm was maybe, I have it a little bit too exaggerated, but where the wrist was here, and the hand, so maybe bend the elbow a little bit more, and then I want to say the hip is flared out a little bit too much. This guys usually don't look that cool. But maybe straighten out the hip a little bit more and maybe bring out the back a little bit more. And then bring this down. I'm going to draw through the hand here. But like that. And then possibly, I think this fold here is doing you a disservice. So I think we need a knee structure in here. So I would put the fold kind of down in here versus up in here because it's starting to cut the knee shape and making the leg look short. I would get rid of this hard shadow. It doesn't serve it, just as this one over here under his arm didn't. But that's what I do there. And then I'm not going to get into this guy too much because he for some reason he doesn't seem to fit anything that's going on here. You might be trying to, because you have this rhythm going in this direction, you might be using this guy for your eye to start going in this direction, and maybe the story is where he's saying, hey, maybe we should go over here. And if that's the case, then that's cool, because also the big guy's eyes are going in that direction. So if that's where you're going, then possibly. But just compositionally here, it looks awkward to me.
Khan said he wants to send something to you, but he keeps having panic attacks because he knows what he's doing is wrong.
Well, I mean, I hope you guys don't feel too much like that, because I know I had a big bad term for this portfolio review, but it was more of a joke, because I really try to be fair, and I try to inspire versus beat you guys down too much, because I know what it feels like to, you know, to subject yourself to this type of stuff, and how vulnerable you are, because I did it as well at conventions and stuff. So yeah, Jonas, good stuff. Like everybody pointed out, it's really solid. Your line's real solid. It's easily read. You can see what it is. The clarity's good. So yeah, there's that. Let's go to the next. Okay, this was just just a little pinup. I never draw it, but I always like the Batman nose that comes out really far.
We all need to hear it. Thank you, says Michael.
Oh, no problem.
And Sket says he has thick skin. Do him next.
Yeah, yeah, this will be a quickie. I like this kind of Batman design. And I try to get all of your stuff in here, guys. So even if they're pinups and things like that. I'm a big fan of the chin jutting out like this, but I think it's a little bit too much. I bring the mouth up here, and I think I'd straighten this out a little bit. I would straighten this out a little bit too, and then I think the ear's always level with the eye here, so
Muhammad said that's his drawing.
hey Muhammad, welcome to the beatdown hour. That's what we're calling it, but we're not really going to beat you down. So Muhammad, this is really cool. I like the style. My main thing is really this ear placement, and I think the mouth needs to come up, and this is a little bit too exaggerated, I think. Maybe pull the cowl back a little bit, and move the neck in this position. Possibly maybe a little bit more of the back of the head. I'm a big fan of your ear design. I like, because I think it works really well with your nose shape here. The triangular shapes are really good. I like them. I would clean up this bat a little bit more, and just keep in mind the perspective, or the way the figure is probably going. So this ear is a little higher than the other ear here, so I bring it down, straighten it out a little bit. I'd like to see these buildings a little bit more resolved and maybe more prominent compositionally. So, you know, fill up maybe some of this space a little bit more. Maybe have some buildings in the foreground here, bigger windows. It can all still be silhouetted like you have here, but just kind of a little bit more, some towers and different designs. But you can see how it's already starting to fill up the space. And I know it's kind of cliche, but hey, it's Batman. We got to do stuff like this, right? You know, do the moon shape or, you know, the bat signal. Let's see if I could do a bat real quick. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Bat light or something. Of course, this would be black or something. But something like that, and it would fill up this composition and give you a more interesting pinup. But it's very good. I like the texture. It looks like you painted this. Is this on a like a canvas? Because if you look close up, oh no, I think that's digital. It's a digital texture. I thought maybe it was on a canvas. It's kind of cool.
The Batlight was actually in there in the beginning, haha, he says.
Yeah, it would have worked, man. Don't second guess yourself. Sometimes your first instinct is correct.
He said he did it in Procreate on an iPad, which must be an app.
Okay. Yeah, it's good, man. Just keep at it. And don't be afraid. Like I said, sometimes your first instinct is correct. And for me, sometimes, like I'll do things in my sketch, and then I'll look and I think, how would I draw that? And so sometimes either because of time or because of the sheer intimidation, like I don't know how to draw it, I'll not do it. And then I'll always look back and I'll go, I should have put that building in. I should have spent more time, looked up the research or the bat signal or whatever it is that I talked myself out of. So sometimes, like, your gut is good. So, especially with your sketch and sometimes your layout. So, so listen to that inner voice and stay with it, because a lot of times it's correct. So very good, and thanks for being brave and sending your work in. Very cool. Okay, Electra by Jeremy Vaughn. Wow. Wow, Jeremy. Jeez Louise, you're making me look bad here. Put some time into this thing. Okay, let's scroll. Take it all in. Nice leg. Guy's got an arrow in the eyeball. It looks like a kitchen knife right in his neck.
How do I send my work in? As sketch? Should I explain?
Yeah, but we're not accepting any right now. But go ahead and explain, Taylor, while I look at this.
So, pretty full up right now. A lot of people want art to look at their stuff. When we do open up for portfolio reviews, the best way to find out is to follow Art on his social media. I'll post the links after this. And when he's open for portfolio reviews, we post a link to a Dropbox where you can send your files, but that's only for a limited time because there are a lot of people.
Yeah, we keep it open for maybe a day or two, because we just get inundated with them. So I think some of this suffers from a lack of structure lines. So I noticed your eyes are kind of like, this one is good, but this one wasn't lined up with the other one. I know my line isn't totally straight, but maybe the lip needs to come over a little bit structurally. These are little things, but like your neck center should be here, so this should probably be kind of in this direction more, and then comes down, and then possibly straighten out some of the collarbone. For me, finding that collarbone and everything is really important. The way the neck sets in there, and then the way the chest comes out. Because I think this is a little too exaggerated, Jeremy. The collarbone, it's more like you're looking down, or like if she was coming more forward, it would be more rounded. But she looks like she's more straight up, almost like the shoulders are being pulled back. So I think probably for more intensity as well, maybe even less exaggeration, almost straight across. Cause see how that's starting to make her look more, you know, like her arms are back.
Khan wants to know if the best place to keep updated on when the reviews go up is Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. I'm starting to become more active on Twitter. Twitter's good. Facebook. I think this time out we announced it everywhere, didn't we, Taylor?
Yeah, you can also join the newsletter, and we'll post when the openings are and such. The newsletter is a really good way to keep up to date.
Yeah, and that's on artbytbear.com. I don't know. For some reason, this waist looks a little long to me, especially since like there's one thing about like women that are tricky is the hip can come out this way, but it also kind of goes back into deep space that way. So what it does sometimes is it will foreshorten the lower torso, this part. Um, so it looks a little long to me. The the torso, the lower torso. Um, something a little more like that, because you're, gosh, what is it? Is it four heads? One, two, three, four. You have four heads to the crotch line, and then from the crotch, four heads down to the bottom of the heel. So usually heroes are 8 heads tall. So looking at your drawing, she's probably 4 heads to the crotch the way you have it, but I I think usually, especially women, it gets like tricky. Like I said, that the hip gets pushed back into space, and so sometimes that will shorten up the crotch area. So sometimes it'll be like 3.5 heads, um, versus 4 heads. So depending on how exaggerated you want the hip to be, just be aware of that. My favorite thing in this drawing is this leg coming forward. Those are really hard to do, and you nailed it. And this a shin bone coming forward right there, really nice, really really nice. So that's tricky to do, and you nailed it. I think for as much as the hip is coming out here, I think I would try to straighten the leg a little bit more. I might have it too straight, but find your knee and come out like that, because this is holding all the weight. That hip is really thrown out, so this leg is holding all the weight. So it being bent like you have it here in this direction, I know I exaggerated, but um, it it makes her look less like she's holding that weight. And it's always tricky to put characters' environments, but I think like her foot would be, somewhere in here. So it's weird that you didn't give anything, a hint of anything where her foot would be. So there isn't a plane here for her foot. So it looks just like, let me take my foot out. It looks just kind of like the foot just disappears here. So even though you're kind of obscuring the body, you still have to kind of think, I know there's like uneven, and she's probably on a bunch of different figures and crowds of like dead bodies, but I think if you had like a body coming in here, and maybe a hint of something that's like an icon of their like their waist or something's in here, it would at least give the illusion that her foot is on that guy's back or something like that. And then you can basically justify the foot or the leg being up so high because it looks kind of odd, because it's like what's her leg up on, and yeah, I try not to do it. I'm a tangent guy. I would make this sword going in a different direction because it follows her leg here. Maybe go more this way or something because it follows too much the pattern of her leg. Okay, since this is the beatdown hour, I'm gonna do it this way. That's really thick, but you guys kind of know where I'm going here. Let's make this smaller. You can see this bend right in here on her arm, and it wouldn't bend this way, so it makes the arm look kind of rubbery. So be careful there. It's a nice composition, Jeremy. You've done a lot of work here. This is a very ambitious piece, and I applaud um, the attempt, and it's really good. So I think some of this stuff is tangent-y. I think I'd like to see this hand maybe break into this a little more. Just kind of commit to it. It's very good. Very good. It's not bad. So Jeremy Vaughn definitely has a good start here career-wise. And then I think just overall with the rendering, just I think just try to learn to prioritize some of the stuff because I noticed there's a lot of things that are competing here. Um, there might be some Dave Finch ideas, with rendering going on here, and I know Dave's really busy, but he's got good placement of blacks, and his hatching always makes sense. And I think this hair is suffering from too much going on and maybe not enough solid blacks in there.
People in the chat are making friends and making plans to draw together a lot.
Oh, cool. We have the hacks chat too, where Taylor and I are trying to make our DC deadline. So we would like it if you guys hung out with us there as well. And as hard as it is to try to get it into our schedule, we're trying to do that on more of a daily basis as well, because it's fun to talk to you guys and hang out and see what everybody's up to. Maybe even just kind of you guys can report in, like what are you working on, and maybe explain more of that stuff. I know we can't talk to you directly, but just type it in. Let us know what you're doing, because I think it would be fun to kind of build this little Hack Chats community. It'll be like an extension of Hack Shack Studios. All right. Well, I am going to sign off. If you guys have any last minute questions, I'll wait a little bit. See if you guys have anything to say. I hope this helped, Jeremy. This is really ambitious. It's really well done. Like I said, this leg is really nicely done. I think just a couple little tweaks, couple more drawings, and you'll be there. Yeah. So, are we done, Taylor?
Yeah, I think we'll call it. Enjoy your drawing time, guys.
Yeah. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for tuning in.